Hey y'all. Hello, hello. Welcome in. This is Astrology for Mystics. I'm your host, Jennifer Jennings. Thank y'all for hanging out, coming in so we can talk about Mr. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and all of the stuff that I don't know what's going on this weekend, but I don't know if it has to do with um, the protesting talk or what it is. But there are some things that we need to talk about that's coming up. And then I also want to, I don't know, discuss some of the theories that maybe you guys have um, when it comes to his missing event and what took place. If you think that he made it home, or if you don't think that he made it home, and you know, there's some things that I'm seeing today. I'm glad that you were able to make it too, Angel for you. Hey, Kelly, Jeff. Hope y'all are doing okay this afternoon. Okay, so I'm gonna show you my. Well, there she is. There she is. Glad you could join us, April. April must not get notifications. She must not get notifications. Glad to see you, April. Glad you could spend some time. Me and your husband are in transit today, April. I don't know where your husband is at, but the connection that I have with April's husband is in transit all day today. That degree goes to, that I know of, that I can remember, that degree that he and I share, it actually is found in Ohio's chart. It's found in Texas chart. And there's a lot of things going on today. So I want to first talk about that, and then I'm going to switch it over to Sebastian. And as I look at the transits, we'll probably, bounce a little bit. You know how I do, but how I roll. It's crazy. But anyway, let me share my screen. I want to get us on the transits. All right. All right. So that should be it. Let me take me off. Let's do a full screen with the transits. Here we go. Okay. So now y'all should be able to see the transits. Let me pull them up right now. Like right now. And we're gonna base everything off of this. Oh yeah, I'm in transit. So is Canada. No, that's hold on. I don't want to duel it out just yet. This is me in Canada. This is me in Canada. Interesting. Let me read this for just a second. You're not sure where he's at today? Yeah, let me know. Let me know where he's at today, because there's a devouring energy of home. And you're in Georgia. So anything happening in Georgia, let me know. We may talk about Georgia a little bit as well. All right, so let me read this for just a second. Let's see what's going on right now. Shit, why is it doing that? Hold on. Here we go. Okay. So I just looked. He's here at the shop. Okay, cool. Good deal. There's a devouring energy with him at home. There's a devouring energy here with me in groups with home. And home can be, with this Cancerian energy, home can be your home. It can be your land. It can be real estate. It could be the state that you live in, the country that you live in. Home is, it's where your heart is, right? The sun is at a 2006. Okay. I'm seeing Trump here. Let me get acquainted with what I'm looking at right now. I can definitely see Sebastian is in transit with the TBI. The TBI and him are in transit right now. The lunar nodes are coming to Georgia and Trump. There is a divine justice with the long travels with Terry Bowersox. There's communications about Terry Bowersox. Is that what we're seeing here? Let's look at the TBI and Sebastian. Let's see. I've got the TBI up. Let's look at Sebastian first. I want to look at Sebastian first with this transit. And so Sebastian, he has a 2046. This is about school. This is about education. It's about other kids. It's about his kids. There is a warring here in Aries. And that 2046 is in transit right here with Selene. You can see that Selena is in Cancer. We're learning something. We are learning something. Is this Indiana? I'm going to have to look and see who this is, this 0011. I can see that there is a divine justice with Sebastian at a 1759. Vulcan is right now with these communications. It's about 2 or more. It's about the ring camera. It's about cameras. The 1759 is in an opposition with Sebastian. That means that Vulcan and the sun are shining here in the relationship house with his relationships and in partnerships. And it's about 2 people. It's about the communications. And there's an opposition here. Gemini doesn't go far. Sagittarius goes far. Sagittarius, of course, there is a full moon that has taken place in the wee hours of the morning. So tonight, before you go to sleep, do your little ride around. Look at the moon. The moon, if you have a cloudy sky, of course, you may not be able to see it. But if the sky is clear, you're going to see a beautiful strawberry full moon that's in Sagittarius. So the moon is becoming full, right? The moon is becoming full, and the moon is right now at a 13 degree. And the moon is going to go over. We're going to reflect on the car. That's Mars. Mars is the car. It's fire. It's quick movement of energy that goes far. So we are going to reflect. We have already reflected on the information. There's information that's coming in, the past information that we have learned thus far. Then the moon is going to reflect the vehicle, the body, his desires, the way he shines. And this 1614, this 1516, they were in transit with a relationship and the dark moon between 1 and 3 a.m. And I want to discuss that. I want to discuss that time frame. I want to show you that time frame because I want to talk it out and see if there is any way that we've missed something, that I've missed anything. Because if Voices of Truth with Hindsight, Mama Rissa, and that other chick, if their theory holds any weight and he didn't make it home, well, then what is that energy going on with Sebastian between 1 and 3? That would be, that's where I would be stuck. That's where I'm stuck with that. Sounds like a great theory, but that's where I'm stuck. And this weekend, I want to show how this weekend there's going to be a weight that's going to come over Chris, Katie, and Eric Craddock. The weight of home, the weight of family. Yeah, can y'all hear the chimes? Are they bothering y'all? If they bother y'all, let me know because I'm sitting outside. It's so pretty outside, so I don't want to be sitting in the house. Again, let me just reiterate that there is a lot going on in Texas today. I'm going to show you that chart as well, but I'm going to bounce here in just a minute. I'm going to bounce, but let me just get this out about Sebastian. So what I'm seeing is that there is a divine justice, the divine justice with Astria. She's already made her way down She is coming down in degree, and she has already made her way past the car, past the body. And the next aspect that she is going to hit is going to be this equatorial ascendant, and she is going to oppose the relationships of the equatorial descendant. For me, what these are, they're leads. It's information. Information is coming in to Sebastian. Information is coming from Sebastian. And anyone that would have these degrees in their chart could receive information from Sebastian as well. So I look to the Sag energy as court, religion, a long travel, belief system, and immigration, other country. Okay. So that is what we are going to see get really full today and tonight, is all of the bullshit that's going down about the immigration. It's big. This is a big turning point that is going to create a lot of reignitement for the future, meaning we are living through a fated time with a fated president. And Donald Trump is going to be in transit with the lunar nodes of fate. It's a big deal. Okay. This is a big deal. What we're going to see is Mars at a 2620. Mars at a 2620, of course, is in Leo. So Mars is up here in the 9th house of higher learning, immigration, other countries, grandparents, schooling. We've been here before. This is where his South Node is. This 2620 is going to come and transform Sebastian when it reaches that 2904 in the public eye. And we're going to play the tape through because we are going to write down dates. We're going to write down dates. The 2620, we can look at all of these degrees in his chart at a 26, and Mars is going to make contact. Mars is going to make contact with the physician, the one that holds the enlightenment with the law enforcement, the courts, the justice. And then Mars is going to also make contact with this dark moon, this disordered aggression about the long travels. Let's look. Let's see. The dark moon is at an 8:25. So the dark moon is at an 8:25 in about 5 hours. Between 5 and 6 o'clock tonight, Nashville time. We're going to see this 8:25 come to the 8:30. It's going to grace. We're going to receive some information. And then this dark moon is going to sit on top of the wisdom of the past. And I'm going to play the tape through here in just a second. We're going to look at that. Definitely going to look at that. Let's see. The 2513, this is interesting because there's a wake-up call in the future with groups. This 2513 was just at a station, and now I think she was just at a station, or she's about to station at that 2513. You do have a good bit down for today. Let me look at my June 10th. Let's see if I've got anything down. You take better notes than I do. I don't have anything for June 10th. I've got June 8th, Mercury in Cancer. June 9, Jupiter in Cancer. Yeah, I suck. I suck at keeping notes. I tried. I really did. And then I've got some other things that are coming in June. But remember, June is an intense month. This has been and is going to continue to be a very, very intense month, not just for us personally, but for us collectively. And we can already see that, right? We can already see all the protests, all the unrest in the world. All of this unrest is, it's really taken a toll on Texas. Let me show you that real quick so I can shut up about Texas and get on to the more important matters with Sebastian. But in order for me to move on, I'm gonna have to show y'all this just so you can see what I'm talking about. I can say it all day long, but if you see it, then you go, oh, okay, I get it. That's why she won't shut up about Texas. And Mercury is coming into that 337 that Texas has. Where is the 337 in Texas chart, you ask? It's right here. Chronos. It's in the third house of communications. It's about we the people. It's about the groups. It's about groups. It's about protesting. Oh, okay, April. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to catch up after the live because I do have some things to talk about. That I really don't want to say on a live. So the 628. Okay, so there's things going on in Canada right now. Let me focus here. Jupiter is expanding at 0011. Jupiter is going to come here with Texas. But do you see this health factor? Hygeia, it's about world health. Hygeia is at a 1527 in Cancer in the 8th house of death, rebirth, regeneration, other people's money, things that are hidden taxes, things are hidden here. And the 1527 is in transit with Cancer all day today. There's this timing with Texas. There's this timing with Texas all day. This is a 24-hour collective transit. And the 337 that Texas has, there is also Chronos. So it's like Chronos is meeting the health factor for Texas, and Chronos here in Pisces is being opposed by Trans-Pluto. Trans-Pluto at a 337 is in transit here in the 9th house. It's about the courts. It's about the immigration, right? Yeah, it is. It's about religion. It's about belief systems. And the 337 is opposing. There is a complete opposition. Yeah, I think it's about the protest, but I don't, we're seeing a lot of crazy shit going on in California, but I don't know if this is going to top it or not. I just don't know. It really remains to be seen right now because it's really just ramping up. It's really ramping up for Texas. The other thing is that there is this 337 in Leo. The 337 in Leo is volcanous. It looks like a volcano, right? What does a volcano do? It explodes. There's a lot of fiery energy here with Leo and children and publicity, schools. Could be about anything having to do with children and schools today. Major transformation with schools. Major transformation with publicity and the health, the home health. There's things that are happening today. And we can see that Mercury has just left really quickly. The Mars, Mercury is here. Jupiter is here. As soon as Jupiter hits that 246 mark, that's when Jupiter comes here in the 8th house. But right now, Jupiter is in the 7th house. The other thing that I see that's happening that is going to take place is there is a divine justice at a 1443 in Sag. She's here, but she is going to oppose relationships, the communications. This is a big day for Texas, y'all. It's a big day for Texas, and we really want to make sure if we have any loved ones or anyone that we know in Texas, let them know, hey, there's some major stuff going down. So be vigilant. Definitely be vigilant. So we see that the Hygeia and there's some communications here about the health, about 2 people at least. And this 628 with Hygeia in Gemini. Gemini is actually where? Right here. Hygeia is right here. She's at a 6 degree in Gemini, but she has just made contact with the dark moon, disordered aggression at home that's hidden. So there's going to be some things that we're going to learn about Texas today. No doubt about it. This is different from yesterday, and it's going to be different from tomorrow. This energy will loosen up a little bit tomorrow, but it's still going to be an orb. This is a 24-hour transit. At the same time, I'm seeing that there are things that are happening with Sebastian. Okay. So if we look at the TBI with this 2046 that Sebastian has, and it's about school. It is about school. The fifth house is your school. It's your kids. It's about children. It is about school. It's publicity. It's about the heart. This is Leo. This is a Leo house, but he has Aries here. There's a lot of worrying about the flame of life with him and California, because this matches California a bunch. The flame of life matches California. I'm going to say it one more time. The flame of life matches California. There is an opposition with Sebastian and the TBI. Let me show it to you. The things that they are learning right now. 2046. Let's look at the TBI, the transits right now. So the TBI, their 2046 is in the sixth house of health, their everyday work. There's deep transformation, deep leadership with the law, with justice. Pluto and Hygeia for the TBI oppose one another. So really, Sebastian's discord with Eris and the schooling is in the TBI's 12th house, where things are hidden from the past, from the TBI. Okay. So this 2046, they are learning something, and it's deeply transformative with them, what they're learning. Then what they learn that is deeply transformative is going to come, and that 2047, Selena is going to learn. She's going to learn, the TBI is going to learn something about the past abuse, about a past offender, about someone's past that has been to jail. Well, I mean, we know that Terry Bowersox has been to jail. I don't know if that would be who we're talking about or not. So but I mean, it kind of seems like it. Let's look at Astria, because she is definitely, the Chiron is all over. There's some justice with the pain that Terry Bowersox shares with groups. And it's opposing the sun in Gemini. It's opposing the communications with him and Chris. It's fated with Hades and Kronos. So there's a fate here with Kronos, with Texas. There's a fate here with, like I said, with Chris, Katie, and Eric Craddock. And it would appear there's definitely communications going on right now about Canada. They had an operation. Okay. There's an opposition with the communications. There's something that is not quite right here. All right, I'm going to move this forward, the 2620, so we can see that the TBI has a 2628. Let's look at it. Let's look at it, because there's about to be some action going down. So the 2620, let's look at the 2628. Hold on. There's about to be some action here. When is that going to take place? That's tonight at 7. Hold on. Let me get the exact time with Nashville. And let's see who is going to be in transit with this action. There it is, 641. Yeah. Okay. Now let's really check it out here with the TBI. Hey, Fruit Fly, good afternoon. $16. Their Sag is here. So the full moon is with their relationships. And their Mars return is in the 4th house of home. This is in the 9th house. So this is going to be something that we learn, something that the TBI learns. It could have to do with, in the 9th house, it could have to do with another country, immigration, religion. Let's see. 448. It's opposing the values. It's opposing the values of that 448. There's an opposition here. Hold on. The dark moon has yet to come here. It's yet to come. The dark moon is yet to come to Sebastian. Hold on. I can see communications with Kathy tonight. There could be a breakup with communications with the TBI. Let's see, 2048. So it's went from 2046. It's went from 2047. Now it's off. And a lot of action is going to a home or a school. Now I want to see the 830. I want to see communications with Sebastian. Hold on. I don't want to miss anything here. 2258. 25. We could be looking at the U.S. Marshals too. We could be looking at the Marshals. That 18 degree, that 1844 is making me think of the Marshals. There could be communications with the Marshals. Let's see. Let me play this tape. Let me keep going. Let's keep it going. Hold on. I know what. Hold on. There's just been a shakeup with the relationship with Sebastian. Hold on. Let me look at that first. Let me backtrack. Hold on. Let me backtrack. That was this morning. Hold up. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Hold on. Let me get it to the exact degree because I want to see exactly what time and exactly who is in transit because I see Terry Bowersox right there. Expansion of home with the magnetism with him. That's early this morning. This is early, yeah. We're reflecting on us. I mean, this is Terry Bowersox. So his magnetism with Zeus is at a 006 or a 007. Either way, there's an expansion here. Yeah, there's an expansion here. So there's a relationship that's in the middle of the night. The values of home. Right there. Okay, so there's a relationship that's hidden. There's the relationship. I mean, Juno is a relationship, y'all. There's not, I mean, you know, and there was a relationship that was taking place with Sebastian in the middle of the night when he went missing. So let's look at the 840. Hold on. That's the wisdom. So we're reflecting on the wisdom. of things of the past. This is at 3 o'clock in the morning. What the hell? With a relationship. The wisdom of the past with the investigation. We're playing our tape through. There's a relationship here that's being investigated with Sebastian right there. That's at 3:18 a.m. Is before I wake up. That's the Tennessee. So we're waking up. Well, I mean, I'm not even waking up. There's Texas. The moon. So I'm seeing a reflection of Nina. I'm seeing this reflection of Nina. Okay, hold on. And then we've got the values. The sun is shining with communications with Chris. And we see the values and the magnetism that is expanding the home with Terry Bowersox. Okay, I just wanted to see what I was going to, what was leading us there with the Mars. And okay, so we've got that. Go on. Oh my God. Go on. Little poisonous thing. There was a poisonous lizard trying to come and hang out with me. No, we'll see ya. Okay, so let's look at this. All right, so this is, now we're back at tonight. Now we're back at tonight with Sebastian, and this 8:27. I want to receive the information. There's information. Right there. So we're going to wake up Wednesday morning. We're going to wake up Wednesday morning, and the fate is coming down to Georgia. The fate is coming down to Donald Trump. There it is again. There's the 2046 again. So now the sun is shining. Look at that. Okay, so when we wake up in the morning, there's something up. This is when I'm seeing things are really going to begin. Look at that. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm first going to show you Sebastian's, and I'm going to show you the TBI. And if this damn thing comes over here again, I will blaze it. Okay, so now we're here. Let me get the TBI. TBI. Oh, girl, I didn't even see it, April. I don't know what you said. I don't know what you said. So again, today, there's something that the TBI is learning. There's something that they are learning. And it's at the 2046. That is how the TBI and Sebastian, they match there. It's actually an opposition with school, with Sebastian, the way that he creates, with the school and the TBI and their leadership, with justice and the law. Okay. So the TBI, oh shit, I was going to start with Sebastian, but I started with them. Sorry. So that 2046, the sun is shining on past communications with this leadership. The health factor is with things of the past, with communications, with the health factor with This 641 goes to Donald Trump, but it also goes to Crabtree. So I'm going to keep that in mind. There's certain degrees that I'll remember out of a chart. Don't ask me why. And I'll just focus on them. And that's one of them with Crabtree that I just remember. I don't know. And I think it's the health factor for him as well. Could be about it. I don't know. So we got that. 2052. So Selena, what we've learned is already went over that. But check this out. Mars is now at a 26. Mars has already left the TBI's Mars about home and school, education, children. The 2643, though, where's that at? There's the 2642. So Mars is going to leave here. Selena will leave here off of their Pluto. Mars will come off of their Mars, but Mars is still here. Mars has yet to make it to their north node at a 2718. That's faded. But I want to play this tape through with the TBI because this may not be about Sebastian at all. But it has the ability to be about Sebastian, and I want to talk this out with y'all. Just follow me here because I'm going somewhere with this. I got to get us there. So it's all going to make sense, okay? The 2642, Mars is going to make contact with this flame of life that reignites a flame about values, about money, things of possession. And Mars is going to bring a lot of energy to the TBI with this flame of life. This is going to be in the morning. Let me show you Sebastian now. This is where it really gets interesting. Let me show you Sebastian now. I can tell you that things are going to be taking place. Of course, the TBI isn't talking to us, so we ain't going to know. We can only speculate, right? You would think the chimes would scare the lizard away. I tell you what, that thing comes over here and we're going to have problems. If it gets any closer than it just did, we're going to have problems. All right, so check this out. This is where it's really interesting for me because the Jupiter at a 0021 in Cancer, Jupiter and Mercury are in Cancer. Wherever your Cancer house is, that's where Jupiter and Mercury are. Hades is also in Cancer. Kronos is also in Cancer. Selena is in Cancer. So all of this Cancerian energy, even the sun, okay, the sun, Jupiter, Mercury, Hades, and Kronos, Selena, all of that is in the 8th house of death, rebirth, regeneration, other people's money, things that are hidden. The investigative house for Sebastian. Okay. So the sun is shining here. Jupiter is expanding here. The communications, the media, everything about that 456 with Sebastian. The 456 is his midheaven. The 456 is his lowest point. What happened when he went missing? Before he went missing, the lowest point at him for home is when he took the trash out. The trash. The video of the trash. The video of the trash. Seth Rogers said, it's too grainy for me to really tell if it's Sebastian. The last proof of life that I remember him saying was when Sebastian got in the car from the Texas Roadhouse. He gets in the car, they pull off, and that is the last, for sure, proof of life for Seth. If they stopped at a gas station Where's that video? If they pulled into the garage, where's that video? The proof of life came from the Laird property across the street, diagonally across the street. And there's a relationship that opposes Mr. Laird. So this is what I foresee the women with voices of truth. This is what I foresee, that this is a part of the fate and the issues that Sebastian is having with this opposition with Jupiter this weekend. The 456 is him taking out the trash. That's the lowest point for him. Okay, I'm going to show y'all that. I'm going to show you. That was the lowest point for him. First, there was a wake-up call, and then that's it. There's the trash. So we're communicating. There's media. Mercury is media. Mercury could be the little boy. Mercury could be two people. It could be, Mercury rules the third house of siblings, the third house of communications. Exactly, Ashley. Exactly. Most missing persons cases, law enforcement releases a video or photo of the last scene footage. Where's the last scene footage of Sebastian in the area of Stafford Court? If they have this is some bullshit. If they have no evidence that he ever left the house, then how is it that he was last seen in the area of Stafford Court? No, the hell he wasn't. There's no proof. Put up or shut up. Put up or shut up, Ellie. God dang. There is, when Sebastian first went missing, this is pertinent information that the father of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers should know. This is pertinent information. Jupiter here at a 0021, y'all, is sitting here in the 8th house, and it's opposing the values. It's opposing the values and the leadership of the law enforcement and the father's values and what he needs. Jupiter is opposing the law, the justice. There is a justice that is opposing Sebastian. And there's communications about the midheaven, about the lowest point. The lowest point is going to Melissa's house. No doubt about it. It's going toward her home. It's going straight up from her home into Kentucky, into Indiana. That's where it's going on Sebastian's map. And the map ain't lying. Just because, other people don't understand how to work the map and 99, I don't care. I've done it for years, and it don't lie. It's not lying. Neither is this chart. It ain't lying. There's an opposition with Sebastian. And it's about Sebastian's values. And Jupiter is coming to expand communications here. That's exactly what is taking place. Mars at a 2642 with the TBI and that flame of life that I just showed you, that 2642 that Mars has just went over in the third house of communications when we first wake up in the morning, that 2642 is Sebastian's physician. It's the one that brings enlightenment to groups, that brings justice to groups. With Sebastian, this 2642, the enlightenment goes to the TBI. The TBI was in transit when he went missing. Obviously, they're in transit a lot. They're doing great work. Or are they? Or are they? So what I'm seeing here is during this point in time, Sebastian, the TBI, the videos, the cams, all of that, there is a light being shined on it. And that light is creating a discord, a lot of strife, a lot of problems for Sebastian. And there's an expansion. Jupiter is opposing Pluto. That's a big deal in the morning. This is a big deal. And all the while, there is communications here in the fifth house of kids. You see this 432 Chronos in Sebastian's charts of 432. This is about the law enforcement. This is about relationships and justice. And we're going into this fifth house of kids, into the education house. And that is where things are dark. There's disordered aggression about the things that are hidden with the investigation and other people's money being paid off. And there is a lot of chatter about it when we wake up in the morning after this full moon takes place in Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' first house. Your first house in your natal chart, that is your whole life path. And everything from that life path is making an aspect to it, good or bad. What's going to happen with this 26 degree that Mars is trailing over? All of these 26 degrees, well, Chiron is going to come to those 26 degrees and bring pain with the action or the inaction. Now, this 8:30 is going to give us some information, but then the dark moon, I want to see what the dark moon is going to look like for Sebastian with the wisdom that he holds about things of the past, about hidden sex, about other people's money and investigations. 8:40. So I'm going to get that dark moon because she's going to sit there. She's going to sit there for a hot minute. Let's go to the days. Let's look at this, because what's going to happen is we're going to see this darkness with the wisdom of the past, and it's going to come beginning at 4:30. Let's go ahead and get it to the exact moment. Oh, hold up. Before it does that, we're going to look at two. We're going to look at two. Hold on. Let's get it to there first. Okay, hold on. But then I see something else that's going to be taking place before this. There's going to be an intensity with the relationship. There's another relationship here. Or did I already look at that? I did. Okay, so I've already looked at that. There's an intensity here with the relationship. This is tonight. Okay, so this is tonight. The moon. No, that's tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, the moon is going to come back into Capricorn. It's about business. It's about work. Authority. Come on, get that, get it to that 1829. Let's see it. There it is. Right there. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What's going to happen is the divine justice is going to oppose me. At the same time that it's opposing me, the divine justice is on Katie as well. The FBI rises with groups, descends with children and publicity. There's the 2706. Okay, let's look at this first. Hold on. Before we go to the wisdom, where's the darkness? She's at 8:34. Okay, so we receive information, right? And then the darkness is at an 8:34. She has yet to make it to the wisdom, but there's a relationship that's bringing Sebastian a conscious raising experience. It's a hidden relationship. And now, yeah, there's a hidden relationship here. There's the TBI, the 618. That's what was in transit when Sebastian went missing in the middle of the night. 2, the 618 is the TBI. Now we're in Ohio. I can also see Virginia in the doorway of information. There's an intensity with Sebastian in the 9th house of long travels. And now Saturn is at that 108 where Pluto was when he went missing. I'm going to look at, okay, so there's the relationship. So Wednesday night, y'all, this weekend is just, it's setting, there's something big. It seems like anyway. Okay, so we've got the intensity Wednesday night, late Wednesday evening. The moon is reflecting Katie and her work. The communications with the health is definitely going over Terry Bowersox and Chris Proudfoot. And then again, we're going to see did I already save it? The 12th. I mean, it's possible, Angel, for you. It's possible that they're being paid. I mean, you got, I mean, shit. We are left in the dark, so we can only speculate. And I don't think that it's a big deal that we do, hell, I mean, all right. So now, sorry, there's a big truck coming down. Not that one. I think there's loggers on top of my neighbor. My neighbors live way up on top of the hill. Yep, loggers. More logs, Jeff. More logs. They're just cutting, deforesting up there. I hate that, to see all these trees being cut, but not my property. It's just my spring. It's the spring that they're messing up. They don't give a shit. The logging truck has just made it down the hill. Wow. Looks like 10 trees at least right there. How sad. They suck. Yeah, destroying the spring for sure. Okay, so here is where there's going to be a reflection. This is going to take place Thursday at 4:38, right before 5 o'clock on Thursday. Right before 5 o'clock on Thursday, we're going to see a lot of disordered aggression about the past and the wisdom and the investigation. This is where things are really going to heat up over the weekend. And it's possible that we are, just preparing for a protest or something. I don't know, but there's going to be a breakup of communications with Seth Rogers this weekend. I don't know how that's going to work itself out with him. I can see Jupiter is expanding the home and communications, this 0041. Well, that goes to Melissa and Michael Proudfoot. Melissa and Michael Proudfoot. Interesting, the 757 was in transit when he went missing. Those were the desires. The desires were at a 757. It's possible that that is the dark moon, the disordered aggression, the darkness that surrounds Terry Bowersox. Possible. It's also possible that Michael Laird, the neighbor across the street, also has that degree. But I tell you what, Thursday and Thursday evening, the weight of home, this 1350 goes to Chris Proudfoot, Katie, and Eric Craddock. Eric Craddock's faded with a weight of home. He's faded. And Mars is coming to the same degree as the United States Pluto degree. This weekend is not just a big weekend for Sebastian and for the TBI, but it's huge for the world, for Trump and the different states that are protesting. This is big. Big, big, big. I also see Indiana that would be coming into the transits with this protesting weekend that's coming up. So Thursday night, there is also another live that the women with Voices of Truth are going to do. The values with Sebastian, with the law enforcement and the school, the values with the law enforcement and the school, his teachers, okay? The teachers. Right there. So at 522, the outer wheel with Sebastian is going to come into transit with Venus. And the sun is going to shine at a 2211. The state of Tennessee has their Chiron, their pain that they share about money and values and things of possession, is a 2211. The sun is going to shine on that degree. The other place that has the 2211 besides the state of Tennessee is Yemen. The DA may be the problem. Here's the deal. The DA and Judge Blanton are highly connected. So the judge and the DA, they are connected to two people. No matter what time they're born. They're connected to Nina and Melissa. Melissa, who would have thought? Not Katie, not Chris, not Terry, but Chris's sister is also connected to the judge and to the DA. Sure is. No matter what time she's born. Not only that, these lunar nodes of fate right here are also connected to her. Melissa has these 2250s in her chart, no matter what time she's born. Saturn is going to come at this time, at exactly this time period. There is a letting go with communications with me. There is a darkness over Sebastian with the wisdom of the past investigation. There is a divine justice that is coming to Michael Proudfoot and to Little Faith. All the while, Sebastian is in transit here. Venus is opposing the dark moon. There's an opposition. There's major challenges with Sebastian here. Major challenges. But the thing that I do see here is there's limits and obstacles with Virginia. Limits and obstacles not only with Virginia, but with Summer Wells. With Summer Wells as well. So I'm seeing her I'm seeing Sebastian. I mean, seeing the state of Tennessee. Things with Summer, we've got this new lead. It could be some brothers or whatnot. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But the things that I see coming for Summer, there has been a divine justice that is coming over her Saturn, her father, and it's coming to oppose me as well. So we'll have to see how this is going to work itself out. And by the weekend, we'll know. We'll know exactly how it's going to work itself out. But look, Melissa, when she shows up, I take note. And she is showing up. Her and her father are showing up here. Her and Michael Proudfoot are showing up here with Jupiter. Jupiter is even going to come and expand with Terry Bowersox Jr. It just seems like everything is throwing up on itself Thursday and Friday. So any evidence that they could have collected, or the lack of evidence that the TBI has collected, there is an opposition and a disordered aggression about the past investigation and evidence. And again, there's a lot of limits and obstacles with Virginia. And I know that other states have this. I just can't think of who else has them. The 757, here we are again. This is showing that there is a lot of energy that is going to those same desires that was in transit when Sebastian went missing. That 757. And I'm pretty sure that is the dark moon of Terry Bowersox. There's a lot of energy that is going to have a lot of disordered aggression with him Thursday and Thursday evening. So now I want to see what, I don't want to jump too far ahead. Let's see. 710. So the 711, that's the state of Tennessee. That's their values. It's also the moon of Texas. It is the Venus of Mexico. And that's going to come in transit when this Hygeia, the world health with the communications, the health factor with relationships, when she comes to that 7-Eleven, that is what she's hitting. The state of Tennessee, Texas, Mexico, right there. Right there. And we can see that the sun is going to oppose communications with Sebastian. Let me show you. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Let's go back to the TBI. 2718. 2718. Let's get Mars there. Because this is their north node. Let's see who that would hit. That's going to be in the third house of communications and siblings. 2718. Let's see. Come on. I'm waiting for that. So it could be the values then. If it's not going to, there it goes. They're talking to somebody. Right there. 7 a.m. Thursday morning. They're talking to someone. Something begins and ends at a home. I see Kentucky. Lots of energy here with Kentucky. And we know that they searched the landfill in Kentucky. May not have anything to do with Sebastian. There's a divine justice here with the 6th house of health. Let's see. And I don't see anything else. And now the 337 is lifted off of Texas, and now it's at a 338, and I'll have to find that again. I want to say it's Nova Scotia. Anyway, the 3rd house of communications, that's where they meet their North Node Thursday morning. And again, I'm seeing a lot of energy with Kentucky here. And then I want to see the justice go to Indiana. Let me get the justice there. Right there. And again, we're in, there is limits and obstacles with the health. Possibly by Thursday afternoon, there could be some warring with officials in Virginia. And there's Sebastian, the 840. So it's going to begin around 4:30. And look at that. It comes in the house of groups too. I mean, in the house of groups, and then the public image. Hold on just a second. My son's calling me. Hey, babe. Hey. Just talking on live. What are you doing? Nah. No big deal. Oh, it's never too late. The time is now. The time is now. It's never too late. Don't do that. Huh? Well, it's up to you, babe. Yeah, I think you should still come though. All right, love you. Bye. Don't even try to get out of it, boy. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I want to see the connection between the DA, because this 1531, this is Sebastian. This 1531, let me just show you. Hold on. We're going to get it to Chronos when it begins, because this is a 24-hour transit that we want to observe as well. There's going to be communications with the state of Tennessee, and then boom. There we go. Hold on. This is Virginia. I think. Oh, let me look. Okay, so we've got, check this out. Let's look. And there goes the 840. So Venus is going to come and oppose him. Venus is just going to keep opposing. There she is. She's at the 840 now, and she is in Taurus. Taurus opposes, challenges. The health factor. This is evidence, okay? This would be any type of evidence that they would have, that the law enforcement would have. Venus. Jeez, man. I'm so hesitant to say, because I see the things that are in transit for me too. let me start here. Hold on. There's going to be this is the judge right here. I'm going to have to walk in. This is okay. So June 14th, this is Saturday. The 340 is Virginia. Hold on. There's a lot happening here. The weight has lifted off of Chris Cady and Eric Craddock with the 1350. However, there's the justice. She's going to come back around and she's going to hit the same degree. And that's what these transitory energies do. They just, they just keep on keeping on. Now, the one thing that I will say is that there's a lot of fate. This is such a fated weekend for Sebastian to move us forward. Let me get the communications here. Let me get a lead coming in. Right there. Let me go ahead and get this Mercury to the 1050. There it is. Okay. I'm going to show you why I'm doing that. What I do see is that the fate is upon some of us this weekend, and the connection that I have with Don Sharfie Jr., that's also going to come in. Don Sharfie Jr. is in transit this weekend with Summer Wells. And I can't not see that because I see him quite a bit with Summer. Doesn't mean that he is the only one or the one. It just means that he has a lot of ties to her disappearance. Maybe it's somebody that he knows, but here's the wisdom. The wisdom is going to be with Michael Proudfoot, with other people's money at home. There's communications that are beginning and ending Saturday morning. They're beginning and ending. The dark moon has just left the 850 with can't remember if it's Kentucky. But there's the wisdom. And then this relationship, y'all, this 1808, this relationship, again, this relationship with the 1808 with Juno in Scorpio. That's Judge Blanton. That's the DA. It's Melissa. And it's Nina. Nina and her both. Melissa and Nina both match the DA, no matter what time they're born. I mean, you just can't make it up. And so there is a health factor with communications that are from the past with Sebastian and communications right here. There's information that's coming, and then there's going to be a lot of information about Sebastian. The wake-up call. Okay, so there is a 7th house relationship here. It's with groups. It's with video. It's with the state of Tennessee and the U.S. Marshals. The U.S. Marshals are definitely going to be getting a wake-up call with groups. on Saturday morning. The weight is on at a 1352. The weight. Let me make sure it's not Canada. I want to say that 1352 goes to Kathy Bowersox. Be a weight up on her, so the weight's going to go from them to Kathy. Let's see. In Louisiana, there is a. I think that's with Louisiana. Let me look. That she matches Louisiana, I think. Or maybe it's the FBI and Louisiana. Let's see. Open. Let me see if it's it. 1359. No, it's not the 1352. Let me pull up the FBI. Hey, Deanna. Yeah, I do. Am I being hopeful? You know, I am being hopeful. I just don't see where I'm going to show you what I think happened. Let's see. I'm looking for somebody. It may be Homeland that I'm looking for, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time looking. Is it Puerto Rico? Damn it. I don't want to pull Kathy up. I really don't want to do that. It's Tennessee and the U.S. Marshals. Because see, we got the 1352, and then the Divine Justice is going to come over that 1352, and I'll look for it. I'm not going to. God, I see Sharpie all in this weekend. Okay, so that is the. I'm pretty sure that this is Kathy, though. It's 1352, 1352. We'll just have to see. And the moon is now in Aquarius here. Reflecting the group, reflecting protesting. And then the 1531. I want to see now it's coming to the 1531 with Sebastian. And Sebastian, let me show you what I'm looking for, what I'm looking at. With Sebastian, there's going to be a 24-hour collective transit with Sebastian. With the 1531, this is his Cupid. This is where he desires to go far, to travel. He loves to travel. So the 1531, that is what I'm looking at with this 24-hour transit that is going to begin on Saturday, and it's not going to let off until Sunday at the same exact time. So it begins right here. There's the 2950. That's California. The 2950 is where Sebastian has the flame of life that matches California. Venus at an 840, she is opposing the wisdom. She's opposing the relationships with Sebastian. It's with money. It's with his everyday money, possessions, things that he owns. We're reflecting the protests in Texas. There's a lot of energy with Virginia. And there's going to be a deep transformation that is coming to Virginia. The sun is shining in South Carolina. Disordered aggression with groups. Saturday night about Melissa. The 1804, there's a relationship. Here's Melissa. There's a relationship. That's Mexico and Florida. And now there's going to be a lot of energy coming to that. Look at that. The dark moon and Venus. Hold up. Let's see. This is going to be a, let's see if they're going to come into a, I mean, this is a full-on opposition that we're seeing right here Saturday. This is big. Let's see where this major opposition is going to be. Venus and the dark moon are going to come into an opposition at an 8:53. It looks like an 8:53. I'm making it go back because I want to see what this is going to look like and what houses it's coming into. Okay, so here we are. Venus is, this is going to be around between 5 and 6. There she is. Okay, so they're going to be opposing each other all day. This would mean to me that it's possibly about Virginia. In Virginia, things of the past. And of course, Mexico. Mexico. The Hygeia, that's going to Kentucky. And there's this full-on opposition. Now it's with groups. Now it's with groups at 6. This is going to be a disordered aggression with, for sure, with Melissa. And now there's going to be this energy that's coming to Sebastian. A lot of information is going to be coming into him, and it's going to come swiftly. It's a lot of warring energy that's coming. Aries is warring. It's the head. This is the 3rd house of communication. So let's see. Let's get her to go an hour. Let's get her. She's going to be in the 3rd house of communications with siblings, childhood friends. Let's see if she begins at an 8:30 in the 4th house of home with mom. Saturday night with Sebastian. The wisdom again. The wisdom is with Chris, Michael Proudfoot, Chris's dad. There it is. Right there. The 12:15, you know, let's look at this with Sebastian's chart because we're gonna work this out here. Hold on. Let's work this out here together. Sebastian and June 14th. So we got Sebastian and June 14th. This is when we're looking at the devouring energy with Kronos. With this 1531, we know that Michael Proudfoot, or I'll know, there's Michael Proudfoot at 1551. There is Melissa, 854. No matter what time she's born, no matter what time he's born, they have that. The 1804 is Mexico, and it's also Florida. It's with the groups, relationships with groups, conscious raising experience. There's a lot going on here. The moon is, again, if the moon is reflecting we, the people, and our values. At 8 o'clock Saturday night. The joy right here is just popping up at the 648. That's the outer will of Sebastian. So we see the part of fortune at this moment. The midheaven is at a 12:15, and the IC is also at a 12:15. This is Libra and this is Aries. So it's about the law and the warring that's taken place. And the 12:15 is the lunar nodes of fate with Sebastian. So the lunar nodes of fate have quickly went past. That 1352, damn it. I want to pull her up, but I don't. At the same time, look at that. Jupiter is expanding the 110. Again, that 110 is Virginia. There's other states that have it, but I recognize it with Virginia. It's expanding with Virginia. This is Virginia. The 340 is definitely Virginia. It's their midheaven and their IC. So Virginia is being expanded here. There's a lot happening in Virginia on June 14th on Saturday. All the while, there's a lot of energy coming with communications with Sebastian. Disordered aggression with Melissa, and the wisdom again is with Michael Proudfoot. Mercury at 11:39. Mercury is going to come, and there's going to be communications, things that Sebastian learns, information here about home and family in Virginia. Eris is at a 2536. So what I want to do is I want to get Eris to the 2538 that Sebastian has here with the things that are hidden at home. There's going to be a lot of warring at home, and the things that are hidden, we could be looking at a protest. Let's look. 2536, 2538. I want to see what that looks like. Let's just go ahead and speed this up. 2538. Boom. I want to get it right at that exact time with Eris. So Eris at a 2537. As soon as she comes into that 2538, I'm going to stop her and I'm going to see who I can see, if I can see anybody. We know that there is going to be a warring here. I can already tell you that Terry Bowersox is coming into transit with Ceres and the warring with him. No doubt about it. No matter what time he's born. As soon as this warring starts on Wednesday afternoon, June 18th, there's going to be a lot of energy going to his Saturn, going to give him limits and obstacles. He'll definitely have a headache. We can see that the communications are definitely coming back to the 1804 with Florida and Mexico. 2154. California. We're going to look here. Definitely disordered aggression happening with Katie. Or 1357. Okay, here we go. This is why the discord is going to take place. I see it. Okay. Moon is at a 2650. Well, you don't say. Okay, let's look. Let's go back for a second because I want you to see this in Sebastian's chart before this warring begins. This is what's going to lead it into the warring. There is a major transformation that takes place with groups at a 2904 with Uranus. It's critical. Uranus is critical. Middle of June. We haven't gotten to the critical. Sorry, y'all, I had technical difficulties. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me try this again. Let me try this again. Y'all still here? Can you hear me? Leave it to me, I swear. Yeah. I let my computer just, it had just, oh my goodness. Let me pull up the transits one more time because I was on a roll there. And my computer just, it let me know that it was low battery, but it didn't give me long at all before it just turned itself off. It's just that time. My computer's old. It's been through it. So I'm going to pull up the transits once again. Jesus Christ, help me, God. Okay, let's try this again. Putting the entire screen up. Now we're back. We're back in business, I think. Let's see how long this lasts. Let's see how long this will work for me. Okay, so this is June 18th. I want to see the 2904 with Uranus because this is when things are going to really shake up with Sebastian. There's going to be a shakeup. And it could be that this is when people are notified or we're talking about. Damn, that's going to be. Okay, so here we go. Here's the lunar nodes. There's a relationship there. Hold on. No, let's just look at the relationship. There's a relationship that is holding some value in the middle of the night, Wednesday, June 18th, right there. That values, there's some values there. There's the relationship with Sebastian. And then there's going to be the shakeup, this 2904, little shaky shake with groups. There's 1221, that's the United States. And here we go. There's this shakeup that's going to be transforming Sebastian and groups. The groups are us. We are the groups. Communications are right there with Melissa, right there. And the second house of values, this is at 2:30 a.m. The sun is shining on the lunar nodes of fate with the TBI. What else do we see here? There's that 919 again. That's Katie. There's limits and obstacles for the TBI on this day, I think. Wednesday. This is early in the morning. Look at that. There is an emotional explosion here at home in California. That 342 not only goes to California, but it also goes to Michael Proudfoot. Michael Proudfoot will be in transit. He just keeps coming in and out of transit too. Look at that. Look at that. 854. The desires. The desires on the 17th with Melissa. Tuesday, the middle of the night. And here's the FBI and Chris Proudfoot. Their connection is a 2144 right there. 17th when we wake up. Michael Proudfoot again. And then that 005, all this energy is coming to Mr. Bowersox. When it gets to the 006 or 007, that is him. That 9/11 that goes to the United States also goes to Nina. There's a lot of disordered aggression in the fourth house of home with Nina. And then that 2904 is coming into transit right there on the 18th. There's a major transformation with groups. But it comes in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, it just seems like all kinds of things are always taking place at 3 o'clock in the morning. There's the 854 that goes to her. Day before, her desires. Let's see if that 2904 does make it to the groups. It makes it to the groups Wednesday morning when we wake up. It's the shakeup that took place overnight. Limits and obstacles for the TBI. And I feel like I'm just missing so much more. The 1238, that's the outer will of Sebastian at a 1238 in Libra and in Aries at 1238. Is it 1238? Yeah. The shakeup. So Uranus is going to be shaking things up when we first wake up Wednesday morning on the 18th with Sebastian. There's the 1238. That's in the 10th house. And see, that's what we're building to. We are building to a warring with what took place with Sebastian behind closed doors. That's what is leading us, we the people, and our values and how we value that has gone nowhere. It's gone nowhere. If it's gone anywhere, we would see the proof of that. The proof is not in the pudding. It hadn't gone nowhere. We are over a year and a half now. No answers, no Sebastian, no arrest, no nothing. This 923, let's see. The 923, hold on. 923. What country is that? What country is that? Shit. Hold on. What country is that? I want to say, I don't remember exactly. There's another country. It could be Canada. It could be Puerto Rico. It's got that 923. I remember it now. I remember there's something here. And then the 1759. That's the divine justice. With Sebastian. The sun will be shining on SF Investigates and the pain that he shares with people. See that? Communications. There it is. And then we're going to learn something about California. The moon is in Pisces. Now there's the warring here with the 7th house of relationships and partnerships with the past values of Sebastian and medicine. Mars is coming to the 0050 of the state of Tennessee with their wisdom. There again, we see Mexico and Florida, California. There's a divine justice with Summer Wells with Virginia and the third house of communications. There's that 1808 that Nina, Melissa, Judge Blanton, and the DA have. And then here comes Mars. Mars is coming to that 0050 with the state of Tennessee and with Faith, Sebastian's stepsister. That's Virginia. There's a justice with Virginia. Here comes Sharfie and Summer Wells at the 1813 right there. The communications is about to hit the TBI. There we go. Right there. Right there. 3:40 Wednesday. And there's going to be a lot of energy that is coming to Terry Bowersox. It's coming to his Saturn. Lots of energy is coming to that Saturn. It's going to slow him down big time. And the sun is shining at a 2751. Let me show you Sebastian's chart. Right here. June 18th. So Sebastian's over here. June 18th is over here on the right. The 0050 is the state of Tennessee. Their 8th house wisdom in Leo, and it's about school. It's about children. And this is going to be taking place around 3:30 on June 18th, Nashville time. This 2751 is exactly where there's a lot of weight. The sun is going to be shining on the communications that weigh Sebastian down, that are hidden at home. Because this is the hidden house. This is the values here of the two people that he lives with. And there is an emotional explosion. There is a lot of energy going to this warring. And remember, the TBI, the Mars in Leo, is going to go over their Mars in Leo at a 2628, and then Chiron is going to come and they're going to be pained. Whether this has to do with Sebastian, another kid, like Summer, it's possible. So the 927, let me look at. No, that's the Saturn. So his Saturn is the 742. Where's the 9? No, it's his Discord. Okay, I told you wrong. So it's not the Saturn of Terry Bowersox. It's the warring that he has. There's going to be a lot of warring coming. His Saturn is in the 740s. So here's comes the warning with Terry Bowersox right here about the 5th house of kids. It could be that there is a protesting that's going to take place in front of the courthouse with Sebastian. I think that it's way overdue myself. I think that there should be. I think that all of these kids' cases, Tabitha Tudors, Martha Leanne Green, I mean, Joe Claude Daniels, Summer Wells, Sebastian Rogers, I think that we need to do something different to get different results. State of Tennessee and TBI. I mean, it's just what it is. Their track record isn't that great and they need to do better. They can do better and they should do better and they should strive and want to do better. And we shouldn't have to put pressure on them. We shouldn't have to do that. But, you know, we the people for the state of Tennessee is a 1742. So let's go back. And there's the relationship with the groups on the 17th with the state of Tennessee. This is the disordered aggression, the darkness that comes over them, the state of Tennessee with relationships, with protesting. So it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. I want to see the breakup with the 456 because we need to get some closure about the trash. And so I feel like the trash being taken out is our 456 with Sebastian right there. That would be it. There's a breakup with communications, with his midheaven, with the lowest point that he has. This 2220 goes to me, and it also goes to Summer Wells. There's a fate here. This is on a Sunday afternoon, June 22nd. The sun is shining on the FBI. The sun is shining on Kathy Bowersox, their connection that they have together. Donald Trump too, but $29.22 is with Sebastian. I'm pretty sure that's Sebastian $29.22. That's the values, what he values in life. With his Venus, the $29.22. And that is exactly where Uranus is going to. Hold on. $29.22. Dark Moon. Oh yeah, Terry Bowersox. Yeah. So 29.22. Let's get that there. This is going to come on. Wow. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Make sure. Let me get it minutes. There's a letting go of communications with Mexico and the state of Tennessee. Mexico and the state of Tennessee have this 123. There has already been an intensity with Sebastian. Now this is a 29.22 right here. Right there. The 314 is the state of Tennessee. Possibly Terry Bowersox. I see Terry and his wife, Kathy, here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let me look at this. Yeah, let me look at this. Sebastian. Because he looks like he is going to need a voice Somebody speaking up for him. That is we the people. With Sebastian's values here with authority. The 2922 is going to be shaken up. Even though Uranus is actually in Taurus, Uranus is actually here in the 7th house of relationships. And it's shaken his relationships up with all things having to do with networking and the groups. We are the groups. We can see that Hygeia is at a 1044 and she's coming to this 1050. It's going to oppose Ohio when it gets there, this 1050. It's going to hit his natal Hygeia. And it's about the health and the communications with 2 or more people. The breakup took place on Sunday, and now here it is Monday evening, and there is a shakeup here at home. After Hygeia comes to the 1050, then Ceres will come and give it a lot of energy. And again, it's with Sebastian in Ohio. Oh. This is a big day for Layla, too. This is a big day for Layla Centinello's case. I'll have to make a video about that. This is a big day. This is a big day for Layla. This is a big evening. Okay, let's look. The 1701, there is a relationship that gives Kathy Bowersox a run for her money when it comes to the pain that she shares about things that could have happened or did happen. But we can see that the lunar nodes of fate are at a 2216. And so Sebastian has a 2214. This is where he receives information. Sebastian has a 2212. This is where he communicates. And there is going to be on Tuesday, that's where the communications are going to come in. On Tuesday. But there's the shakeup here at home with mom, with groups. The sun is shining in Cancer at a 250. Jupiter is expanding communications with the state of Tennessee and Terry Bowersox. And then we can see that Kronos is coming to the 1542 where Sebastian shines. There's a timing here. And Kronos is coming to Michael Proudfoot and Faith. The weight of home is going to come on Faith as well. The 1547, this wisdom is coming down to his sun degree as well at the 1542. Let's check this out. The state of Tennessee, though, is definitely going to be in transit with things of the past on June 23rd. Sorry about that. I want to see what this is going to look like. And this is going to look like the 1542. 1542, right there. So Kronos is going to come to that 1542. There's going to be communications about Sebastian. That 0024 is communications about Sebastian. The 0024 is on the outer wheel of his natal chart in the 3rd house of communications and the 9th house of travel. Has to do with his sister. Has to do with education. There's a disordered aggression that is coming over. This is Thursday night, the 26th. There's a disordered aggression that is coming over Eric Craddock. Lots of disordered aggression. Things are going to come into an enlightenment. There's a massive, deep transformation with the United States. And again, there is a complete transformation that has taken place in California. And that degree is also with Michael Proudfoot. We can see Michael Proudfoot once again. He is in transit with this 1542. There is a lot of energy going here with him and Sebastian and the weight of home in California, and a transformation, deep transformation that's taken place with his health with Michael Proudfoot. Saturn has already left off the FBI. Saturn has left off of Kathy Bowersox, and also with Donald Trump. There is definitely an enlightenment. There is going to be a lot happening on Thursday when it comes to ICE and the immigration. This isn't going away, y'all. This isn't going away. It's definitely not going to go away. And then we're going to learn some things, some communications about Sebastian and the teacher. And then this 349 is going to come into the state of Tennessee with the 350. Right there. The state of Tennessee and Sebastian have this 350. Flame of Life is going to Indiana, and the Flame of Life is not only going to Indiana, but also Big D, Brian Guy. They match. Communications about Canada. We're going to learn some things about Canada. Tennessee is definitely going to be opposed on Saturday. This is going to be an all-day transit, though. Let's get to like when we wake up Saturday morning. Let's look at 8:30 in the morning, and there it is. This is Biden on June 28th. This will be Biden, and this 311 is Biden and Russia. This deep transformation that's going to take place with them. Again, there's that 2321 that goes to Canada. It also goes to Alabama. Deep transformation with We the People that's going against the state of Tennessee, June 28th. June 28th on a Saturday. And then we're going to learn. So the Venus is at the 2321, and then we're going to learn. So there's things with Canada, the values of Canada, their public image, the values, and then the learning. We're going to learn something. They're going to be taught something. And then the divine justice, the 1759, that's Sebastian. That's going to be there. The moon is going to cross over that. Let's see. Where's the wisdom here? Let's see if that wisdom comes to Sebastian's sun degree, and there it is. Because this is a collective transit with Poseidon right there at a 1542. That's the way he shines. He shines at a 1542. I want to get it right there. Nashville time. So I'm going to get this wisdom with the way that Sebastian shines secretly Saturday afternoon right there. Yes. Okay, so Saturday, July 5th. Well, the wisdom that Michael Proudfoot had with the 1551, now it's a devouring energy of home and mom. Communications are going down with Chris Proudfoot and Nina. There's a lot of enlightenment that is coming with the investigation with Eric Craddock. The moon is reflecting Kathy Bowersox and the hidden money. Washington on July 4th. Washington, like Seattle. Washington on July 4th is the day. That's the day that I'm going to be watching Washington. Yes, yes, yes. Washington, it is on the 4th, on July 4th. And then on the 5th, that's where there's wisdom about how Sebastian shines. The sun is going to be in Cancer. Moon, again, we are going to be reflecting on Kathy. The 1619, Kathy. And all the warring is going to be on the FBI and Terry Bowersox, because no matter what time Terry Bowersox is born, he wars with the FBI. They war with him. They do. The 1425, this is the health factor. Again, this 1425 is going to the burden of Katie Prophet. And it's just a cycle. You know what I'm saying? There's just this cycle that I continuously see. The 2950 that Sebastian has with the state of California, we will see that on July 3rd. Actually, let's get it exactly. This is the flame of life that goes to the state of California with Sebastian. There's ice. There's Kentucky. There's ice. There's Kentucky. And it's coming to shake things up July 3rd for California. And then the flame of life, that 648 is going to come over Sebastian. That's before the wisdom takes place with Sebastian. And again, this is California. That's where we're going to see this shake up with the flame of life. There's the 2650. Now, the pain with the neighbors across the street with Sebastian, they are showing up. I don't like that. I don't like that. July 3rd, the people across the street that have the camera, the ring camera with Sebastian, they're in transit. Mr. Laird will be in transit. He's having pain on July 3rd with the flame of life that's getting shaken up by we the people. There again is that 919. You see how it just, there is constant, when you get it to the exact time, you just keep seeing the same degrees. And that's the reason why I work with degrees too, is because damn, if you're constantly seeing the same degrees over and over, you want to know who does it go to, especially if you were investigating. What I'm about to show you guys though, there's a fate that is coming over FBI and Chris Proudfoot, and it's coming in July. Hold on. So 2950, the enlightenment is coming to Eric Craddock. We see ICE. ICE is already, that was on July 2nd. ICE was holding the big transitory energy that's leading to more unrest in California, a lot of warring. And not to say that this couldn't be a big fat earthquake or something. I don't know, but there's 646. Let me stay on track here. So now we've got the flame of life with the friend group on Thursday, July 3rd. Reigniting a flame about Sebastian. And yeah, Chris Proudfoot is going to hold the collective energy with the communications and the leadership with all of his problems. All of his problems are coming to a head on July 3rd, 5 o'clock, and it's about Sebastian. And there's Terry Bowersox. He's got a lot of warring here with Mars and the health of Mars. And then Mars is going to come to that 931 with the series. There's a lot of energy with this Mars and Sebastian Rogers right there. That's in the 8th house of death, rebirth, regeneration, other people's money, things that are hidden. The investigative house, Tennessee is going to, they have already had a lot of issues going down on the July 3rd. The sun is going to shine on a relationship with Sebastian. And there again is that 1351. It's coming to that 1352 that we were just talking about earlier. And then the lunar nodes of fate, this 2145, it's going to come down to the 2144 that Chris Proudfoot and the FBI share. There's a lot of energy here, y'all, with Sebastian. The communications, there's a lot of warring, lots of warring with Terry Bowersox. Things are being shaken up in California with the flame of life. And what is happening? What all is happening here? We see that the desires for responsibility and structure and accountability, responsibility is going to come with Sebastian at the 8:30. But first, the wisdom came first. Let's see. Hold on. I'm too excited here to see what this is going to look like. There it is. So Thursday evening, there's a fate here with, there's a fate here with Chris and with the FBI. And the dark moon is going to oppose Katie. July 3rd is the day. That's the day. And then there's going to be a wake-up call in the future. This has to do with Canada, Alabama. Ooh, and look at that. The dark moon. Hold on. What just happened? Okay, so the dark moon is coming to Katie right here to oppose her. The moon has already opposed Sebastian with the flame of life, with the law enforcement. And California. Here comes the 1104 right there. And look at that. There's the 840 with the communications about the wisdom, about Sebastian and the past, not wanting him to go to Seth's house with that 1854. Let's just go ahead and put it there. Let's tell that story. And then Jupiter is going to come and expand communications in the state of Tennessee with the TBI. FBI and Terry Bowersox, they have a warring here. A lot of energy with the United States at a federal level. Venus is coming, she's coming to that 2950 with California and with Sebastian. The moon is now in Scorpio. We're back to the investigation. This is July 4th when we wake up. But the enlightenment is on top and over Eric Craddock. And the flame of life is going against. There is an opposition with Terry Bowersox. 2950. Venus is coming to grace us with a shakeup with the flame of life with Sebastian that matches California. Right there. Boom, bam. We're rising with Leo. Publicity, children. And now we are reflecting on that 115 with the values. and Don Sharfie Jr. with Summer Wells. And the FBI, they just can't, they're not catching a break at all with a bunch of warring with them. And that 2542 is, again, it's Terry Bowersock's connection to the FBI. No matter what time he's born, he is connecting. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Does it mean that he has something to do with Sebastian? No, but is it a probable? Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. If you have a warring with the FBI, I can promise you it's going to show up. It just is. It will show up. Here is the expansion on July 4th with the state of Tennessee and the communications about home and about groups. This is a warring day for the country. There is a divine justice that is coming to the FBI on July 4th. This is not a time to let your guard down when you're around groups. It's just not. This is about past communications with Nina, and it's about her child. I can see that plain as day. This is just wild to me. And then it's a trip because Donald Trump, he also has this 1104, just like Katie does. And there is going to be a lot of disordered aggression, and there is going to be a divine justice with the FBI here, right there. And again, Chris Proudfoot is still in transit with the Pluto. There is a deep transformation that has taken place with him and all of his problems when it comes to communications. And the 2656 that Sebastian has that matches the Homeland Security, that also matches Maryland, that's coming into transit as well. And we're going to start it here because the FBI is still warring. There's still a lot of warring going on. So we can see, if we take the FBI out of the equation, we just look at Terry Bowersock's, well, here it goes. The 2656 for Sebastian, that's his ascendant degree and his descendant degree. He rises with that degree and he descends with it. He descends with it with communications with two people. We know who those two people are. There is a huge weight over the state of Tennessee on July 7th. There is the 1143. That goes to Sebastian and the quack woman. What's that quack woman's name? Texana. Yeah, she's the quack teacher. She is definitely going to be in transit with Sebastian on July 7th, 2 o'clock. That's the wisdom. The wisdom is being held by Sebastian. And again, the enlightenment, there it is with Eric Craddock. There is the 1616 that goes to Mississippi. We're just seeing all kinds of things going on right here. The investigation on the 7th, well, that's going to oppose Don Sharfie Jr. with groups and with Summer. With Summer Wells. There is an investigation that's going to oppose Don Sharfie Jr. He's in jail, but not sure what's going to happen with him, but there's going to be a big wake-up call about the investigation with him and Summer. I really don't see anything else of her in here. July 7th is when, that is when, okay, Uranus is going to come and act as a vernal point. July 7th is a big day. Mark it on your calendars. We the people. And then here comes Homeland Security. I see Alaska, Cuba. Alaska and Cuba are here. Chris Proudfoot. And the TBI. So I like July 7th. I want to see how July 7th is going to work itself out. I know we got a ways to go. But if we get through all the chatter and we get through all of that, you know, whatever is going on, there's Georgia and Canada. This is about the siblings, I think. There's Alaska, Cuba. Yeah, Texan is cray cray. Hey, hey, Jude. Yeah, she is cray cray, cray cray. I mean, who walks up in a vigil for a young boy acting like she owns the place? She is ooh, I need to just be quiet. I need to be quiet because, ooh. Okay, so here's the TBI right here. There's the TBI. The sun is shining at a 1542. It's shining on Sebastian at home with two people in the communications. That's July 7th when we wake up. Everything is going to be exploding with Crabtree on July 7th. There's a weight on the state of Tennessee. There's an expansion with the groups and the TBI. This 357 doesn't just go to Crabtree. It also goes to Layla Santinello, who is missing out of Kingsport, Tennessee. So we got the sun shining on Sebastian in Cancer, and then we have the wisdom. The wisdom. And the wisdom is right next to a relationship. That 1616 is Mississippi. Look at that. The day before, the desires were on Sebastian, and there's a lot of communications going on. And again, Sharpie's about to receive a wake-up call, just a big old wake-up call with groups. It's about kids. And I think that he's just still the dude that I look at. I just still look at him when it comes to summer. He has a transformation that's in Leo that goes public, and it's about kids. And he is a dirty old, he's a dirty child, lover. Well, Don Sharpie Jr., he had just gotten out of jail before Summer went missing. So I've looked at a lot of people, and I just keep going back to him. He may not have anything to do with it. I'm speculating here based on the transits, but he is going to have an opposition here with kids and groups, networking. With the future. There's a future transformation. Things are taking place. Could be some shit going down in the jail or in the prison, wherever he's at. And then here comes Homeland Security. And Sebastian. Major shit going down Monday, July 7th with Homeland Security and the FBI. Relationship is still here with Sebastian. It's in Mississippi. There's the cray cray girl. And then here comes the I think that's California. Things are just not looking well. There's Texas. The Venus and Texas are hanging out. The values. It does make me wonder how Crabtree will have the emotional, there's an emotional blow up with him. With the wisdom with Sebastian. Interesting. Homeland and Security. This is a big day. July 7th is just a big day. The warring that's taken place, my God. It's not going to let up in June. It's just not. Let's see what the next day is going to bring on July 8th. We still have the Enlightenment with Eric Craddock. We still have the Wisdom with Sebastian. And now there's this relationship that's hidden that we want to look for with Sebastian that showed up when he went missing. Oh my God, Juno is going slow. She usually moves every hour. Here it is, finally. Wednesday morning, July 9th. And here we go. Uranus is coming to the degree, once again, of Terry Bowersox. Jupiter is coming to expand the outer wheel. Hades is coming to weigh Katie down. And it's just the same, same o. Same o. The 2128, this is Summer Wells and the United States at a federal level on July 9th when we wake up. The fate is upon her and the United States at a federal level. And then we have this wisdom in the 5th house of kids and creativity. We have this wisdom with justice and the law. We have this wisdom with the flame of life is coming against Terry Bowersox and his Saturn degree. All the while, the wisdom is with Sebastian. There's a relationship that is hidden here that showed up between 1 and 3 a.m. when he went missing. There's the 1531. The things of the past are opposing Sebastian with his desires to go far, to travel far, a higher learning. Lots of things are happening with Terry Bowersox during these, this little play it through that I'm doing here. And then Dark Moon is going to come over Cray Cray Girl and Sebastian at the same time. That 1143. Look at that. Juno is just going to be in transit all day with Sebastian. I like that. I like that a lot. We need something like that. We need an all-dayer. Jesus. Look at that. There's going to be expansion here. I like July 9th for Sebastian. There's Virginia. Little Summer Wells. The 2145, that's coming to the degree of the FBI and Chris. Now the wisdom is off of Sebastian and the way he shines. The enlightenment is off of Eric Craddock. The flame of life is lifting off of Terry Bowersox, but there's this relationship that's hidden with Sebastian. And I want to say that these 250s go to Melissa. Those 250s go to her. I want to see that 1143. The dark moon. Look at that. That relationship is just still there. The flame of life is going over Kentucky. Disordered aggression with information about Sebastian. Look at that. The Juno is going to station, honey. I love it. Juno is going to station at that degree with Sebastian. This is a good time that we want to observe. Look at that. All the energy is with that 1350s. I see Kathy. I see her husband. I see the whole fam. And then the weight is going to come over Katie. Just been a lot of energy go to with the TBI in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night with the TBI. I'm going to save this right here so I can study it. It's just going to sit there on that Vulcan degree. So let me show you something. When Sebastian went missing, that 1614 is Vulcan, and his chart, Vulcan in your chart is a red arrow. It's a red arrow, and it just, for me, it just means God's will is being done. There's a finale. There's a finale here, okay? And when Sebastian went missing, that 1614 was in transit with his Mars, okay? So the Mars is about the vehicle. It's about the body being moved. Sebastian missing. Where's it at? Missing. There we go. Let's look at one of these and see if I can. Okay, this is at 6:33 a.m. I want to take it back. I got several charts for him. I want to take it back to the time frame. So you see at Sunday night, 9:33. Sunday night at 9:33, there are energies that are coming to him. The dark moon and Juno is coming to his degrees right there. 1:33 a.m. Let me show you this. This is very important, okay? The sun is shining on the state of Tennessee. The sun is shining on Mexico. The sun is shining on Texas. Watch this. Sebastian missing. Hold on. Let me go back up to Sebastian. Where are we at? Oh. Sebastian and the 26th. Okay, so here's Sebastian. Hey, Smack Talker. Hey, hon. Here is the 26th. Okay, this is 1:33 a.m. We see that the dark moon is at a 1614. That is the 1614 with Sebastian. Vulcan. Then we see that there's a relationship. Juno is a relationship. 1516, 1516. It's making contact with Sebastian with a vehicle, with his body. God's will is being done with the 1614 right here. There's a disordered aggression. There is a darkness that has come over him with a relationship right here. And we are reflecting Chris Proudfoot. Okay. We're reflecting him and the long travel. You see the 2656, this is Homeland Security, but it's also Sebastian. It's where he rises and descends with relationships. This 1614 was the disordered aggression that has come over Sebastian, and there's this relationship at a 1516, right? Right. That's what happened between at 1:30 a.m. This is what's happening with him. There is a reflection with Chris and the health with Sebastian. The 618, that is the TBI. 1616 is the lunar nodes of Mississippi. And I could just keep on going and going and going. But there's a lot of discord that is coming, that is hitting Terry Bowersox as well. The 1414, this is where information is coming in to the TBI as well. Lunar nodes are at 1753. So the lunar nodes have already went over the divine justice with Sebastian leaving. That's 1614. God's will is being done with the relationship and the vehicle and the body at 1:30. And it lets off at 3, around 3 o'clock. The divine justice, that is 0043. That is going to Melissa and her dad. Other people, maybe, I haven't. There's a lot of discord in Oklahoma. This could also be the neighbors across the street. It could be the neighbors next door. Okay. Yeah. So here's the deal. This 1614 was in transit with Sebastian when he went missing. And I like the fact that there is a relationship that we are seeing on July 10th, that God's will is also going to be done with Sebastian, because it's going to station there. That means that God's will is being done with a relationship with Sebastian Rogers beginning on July 9th, July 10th. Let's see how long she stays there. She's still at a station. It's not a red station, but it's nevertheless a station. Now she's moving back forward. Now she's going forward once again. That's on the 12th. So the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th is all about Sebastian. With a relationship, God's will is being done. I tell you. And I want to leave it at that because I'm very excited about that. I'm excited to see, even though it's far away, I'm excited to see how that's going to work itself out. I can see that there's a wake-up call coming to California, and there is going to be an opposition with California. Right there. Right there. And where's Juno again? Where's Juno? She's still at the 1614. Saturday, July 12th, 11 o'clock in the morning. We are in California. There's a wake-up call in the 5th house of kids and creativity. There's this wake-up call for the future and groups. There's the 919 once again. Do you see what I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Have y'all sat here and listened to me constantly say 919 throughout this whole live? This is what I'm talking about. How is it that an astrologer like myself that would be investigating cases, how can I overlook something that is consistently showing up? I can't. We can't. Okay. We just can't do it. It wouldn't be prudent. So no, we're not. We're not going to overlook the fact that there is, once again, we have the 919 that is showing up with the justice here in the 3rd house of communications. We have a flame of life that is coming to that 830 that we know goes to Sebastian. And this relationship is bringing about a fate on Saturday, July 12th with the TBI. Why is it the TBI? This 2117 is fated with Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. That 2117. Let me show you. Make sure I've got it saved. Let's go to the TBI. Hold on, where'd I put them? There's the TBI. July 12th. And the second house of values with communications, the 8th house of death, rebirth, regeneration, the things that are hidden, this investigative house is a 2117. I match the TBI here with my wisdom at a 2117. So me and the TBI will be fated together. We're going to share fate. The midheaven is at a 2538, and we know that Sebastian has the 2538 in his chart. There's an emotional explosion about the things that are hidden at home with the investigation with the mommy. So the 2516 is also found in the state of Tennessee's chart. This is a Tennessee TBI day. And it's also going to go federal because we have Venus here at an 855. That is in the United States chart. The Uranus in the United States chart is in 855. So that is going to be federal. It's going to hit the United States. Saturn is stationing at a 156. I would imagine that one of Sebastian's family, like his mother, would have that degree. Interesting. I wonder how long this relationship with Sebastian. So it starts on the 9th, still going on the 12th, 1614. And I'm going to try to remember who else has that, like state-wise or country-wise. And I'm sure I'll be shown before now. I mean, before we get here. I'll be shown. What we seek seeks us too. If you seeking something, it's going to find you. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. That just trips me out. That 919, pretty sure that's Katie. I'm not going to show her chart, but I'm pretty sure that 919 that keeps showing up is Katie Proudfoot. Oh, gal. The sun is going to shine on a home. Tennessee. Let's see. What else can we see here? The flame of life that's going to come over Sebastian is coming. And the wisdom is coming too. Let's see. When does that let off Sebastian? And it will finally move off of him Saturday evening. But before it does, there's a disordered aggression with the investigation with Sebastian on July 12th. That we are reflecting the sun. The 1542, we are reflecting him. The values of the group. Mars is now at the same degree as Terry Bowersox, his pain that he shares with groups, and the 2046 that Sebastian and the TBI, the sun is shining there with their connection. Let's see, what else do I see here? This is good stuff. This is good stuff. I'm really glad to see the connections that are being made for him in July. I want to play the tape through here. I want to see this 830, but I really want to see the 840 because that's where it's going to sit. The flame of life is going to sit on Sebastian's 12th house, the things of the past, with wisdom from Poseidon about the investigation. Right there. That's July 14th, Monday. 1 a.m., of course. It's going to happen at 1 a.m. Wow. The divine justice is coming over the United States. This is also Nina. She shares. There it is. There's the relationship. There, it's in Memphis. I mean, it's in Mississippi. There it is. That 1616 with Mississippi. Boom. The flame of life in the 6th house of health. And the everyday. There's the wisdom of what's hidden. The relationship is in Mississippi. The divine justice is with, again, that's Nina and the United States. And now we got the 350 once again. There is a deep transformation that is hitting the outer will of Sebastian at 1 o'clock in the morning on July 14th and the state of Tennessee with We the People. And it's all about Sebastian. And look at that. There it is. There is the expansion of home, of land, of property with Terry Bauer Socks. That's 0017. I want to say it's Ohio. It could be Mexico. I'll have to look again and see. There's a shakeup. The moon is reflecting California. Then the moon will reflect not just California, but it's going to go to Canada. Vulcan is going to come over the 1516 with Sebastian. Oh, dang. Look at that. It's in retrograde, but now all of a sudden it's going to go forward. It's not even going to hit him. It's not even going to, God's will is not even going to be done with the vehicle, with the car. Then I see that there's going to be some pain with Sebastian with the values, the schooling, where he went to. When Chiron reaches that 2706. I hope he shows up in July. Wouldn't that be great? Or we find him. Wouldn't that just be wonderful? So here it is. There's the values. That's the schooling. This is July 18th, Friday, 1 o'clock. Wisdom with the United States. I see a lot of federal. There's the TBI here. There's going to be some transformation with the health of the immigration. There's Virginia. Wake up call for the state of Tennessee and groups. Friday evening. Hitting their values, the state of Tennessee's values. Mars is going to come to that 1829 that Sebastian has. Hygeia is as well. There's an intensity with the 1829 with Sebastian. Lots of energy is going to Virginia here. There's a divine justice from the past with the United States. Oh, and there's a major opposition with the courts on Friday with the United States. That's what's happening. The courts. And the due process with the immigration police, I think. There's this intensity. It's going to come to Sebastian. Where's Mars? Okay, so Mars is going to go first. Mars is going to go first, and then Hygeia. It's the mental health. It would be the mental health, the intensity with the communications. Sebastian. So it's first going to hit here late Friday night with Sebastian. There's this intensity with the health. The sun is shining again on him in the TBI. And there's this pain. And there's a lot of energy coming to that Mars degree, the 15. This is July 19th, again in the middle of the night. Again, in the middle of the night. Divine justice with Melissa. The third house of communications is all about Sebastian and his desires of a higher learning. Let's see. There's that 1514. Let me show you again. Let me remind you again that Sebastian has his Mars is a 1516. So we're going to go back. And we're going to get this to a 1516. The 1515 is going to be Kathy Bowersox and her husband, Terry. And then the 1516 is Sebastian. Saturday morning, July 19th, there's going to be a lot of energy going toward the body, the vehicle. Ceres can be religious. She can have to do with like crops and kind of like farming and things of that nature. But what's going to happen is with all of this energy that is coming over Sebastian, with all this warring, what's going to happen is Mars is going to come and oppose the group that he's with. It could be we the people, but there it is. There's going to be an opposition. The moon, I want the moon to reflect that intensity that took place at home right there. Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, July 19th. Let's look at that. Let's look at that with Sebastian. Let's look at that with his natal chart. Let's go back down. Isn't it so strange, Angel, for you? Yeah, girl. Why is it happening in the middle of the night? Why would it? And the only thing that I can think of is that either the people with him are up all night. It has to do with the chatter online. And that's all that there is a chatter. Or he's in a different time zone. Like in another country. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, someone knows, Smack Talker. Somebody knows. Somebody out there knows, and I think we know who knows. I mean, damn. Oh, there's already been a lot of attention on Kathy Bowersox on the 18th. And I say that because the 405 goes to her all day long, no matter what time she's born. She holds the 405, and there's going to be a lot of attention that's going over her on July 18th. No matter what time she's born. Hold on. Her public day is going to be the 17th, July 17th. That's her. Communications with her. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is her. This 405 is going to begin with her values on the early morning of July 17th. That's Skylar's birthday. So she will hold the collective transit from the 17th or the 18th, the morning of the 18th. So all day, July 17th, this is her day to show up and show out, and she's going to. The health factor is going to be in an opposition with Sebastian and his desires with the justice system. There is going to be an opposition with him and his mom. And Chris and Katie on July 17th, there's things going down. Will they be in court? I don't know. But this is right before. So she is in transit right before he is pained. Right before Sebastian goes that 2706. Let me see if she is off right here. And yeah, so she, as soon as he begins this pain, the attention is off of her. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay, so let's look at that. Now we're back to the opposition of the group. Mars is opposing him. The way that Mars opposition can oppose, when Mars comes to oppose you, it can definitely have to do with your vehicle. Okay. It can have to do with the vehicle. So his Mars is a 1516. It's about the vehicle and the body. So there's a vehicle, a relationship here. Saturday morning, there is something about a vehicle. It could even be a plane for all I know. But he's pained here with things that are hidden. There is an intensity that has taken place that we are reflecting on with money, with values, things that we own, things of ownership. I can see the FBI is coming into transit as well. This 1516, there's a lot of energy going to it. All the while, there's an opposition with the groups and a vehicle. Could it be that Sebastian gets in a car wreck this day? And that's how he's found? I don't know. I don't know. Wouldn't that be, I mean, I wouldn't want to see him hurt for sure, but wouldn't that be crazy? That would be crazy. There's an on opposition here. I'm going to study this one because I haven't seen this one before. I haven't looked at this before, and I want to see who and where this is going when he is having this opposition with Mars and his Uranus. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Make sure that's saved. And I want to look 2055. That's the lunar nodes. Where's Sebastian? There he is. July 19th. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing. Okay, so the 1846 was in transit when he went missing. Okay. When he goes missing, the 1846, and I want to look at that chart too before I jump off of here. 1846 is in Pisces. Virgo is the opposition. So Mars is here. In July, Mars is going to be here in the 10th house. It's about his public image. It's about a vehicle. It's about driving. It's the vehicle. Okay. And so we have a vehicle that is opposing the 4th house of home with mom and groups. It's going to give him a shake-up, a little shaky shake while Mars is there. But his Mars is a 1516, and that's where a lot of energy is going to with relationships and a lot of warring, a head wound. This is directed energy weaponry. This is also just directed energy. There is a lot of energy, and this can come from a church, a religious facility, religion, or it could be agriculture. He loved agriculture. He got an award for agriculture. Seth was given that award, and that agriculture is right here. Ceres is agriculture. She's the ag. She's all about the land and the purity of, farming and things of that nature. But she can also represent, I know it sounds like, how can she represent farming and then also represent religion, a priest, a preacher, a pastor? She just does. I can't tell you why. It can express itself in a few different ways. And that's what I see. Like if we were looking at the United States with Ceres coming upon it, I would be like, hey guys, there's some directed energy going on. Some directed energy weaponry here. The 2046 that Sebastian has with the TBI, that's already come into transit. That 2046 has already come into transit. And the lunar nodes of fate are going to come down to that 2046 that Sebastian and the TBI share. Interesting. Dark Moon is going to come over Katie, and I believe her Mars. I swear you can't make it up, man. Yep, Venus is already opposed at that 1614, so this could have to do with the vehicle or something that, there's something about Sebastian traveling at this time. There's a traveling here. The 2027 is also a relationship with the United States of America that give them a wake-up call. And I want to say, but I'm not sure. I think I'm going to have to study this to tell you for sure. There's going to be a flame of light that's coming to Chris and Nina. And Mercury is coming down to Ohio and Texas. Mercury is the communications at 2615, 2658. We're going to learn about the disordered aggression with Sebastian's traveling. I think the July is going to be a one we really want to pay attention to this transit. For real, for real. July 19th. There's an opposition here. And then we can see that Jupiter is expanding at that 9 degree. And I just wonder what it's going to look like when it comes to that 919. Can we get the Jupiter to the 919 and see Sebastian? Is the 919 just showing up for no reason? Of course it's not. Let's see. Let's expand Jupiter over that 919. Because I don't know the birth times. Chris and Katie, this is going to take place on the 20th. There's the 919. There's Virginia. The value is in Virginia. A wake-up call with Chris Proudfoot. The 850, it looks like, I want to say, I don't know. This is ice. Their lunar nodes of fate. Interesting. So let's get Mercury back to the vehicle, the communications about the vehicle and about Sebastian's body. In the 8th house of the things that are hidden. Okay, so there it is. So what's interesting to me is the 1516 is going to be Sebastian. That's the vehicle. That's the Mars. We're going to be communicating about that Sunday. And then the 1515 that goes to Kathy Bowersox and Terry Bowersox. Now we're communicating about them. Jupiter is at the 918. Communications with Seth is there. About the values and what he values with His son, the wake-up call is with Chris Proudfoot with the investigations. And then I want to see Venus get to that 1829 where Sebastian has an intense experience with communications with at least two people. This could have to do with the intensity that took place at home with two people that is hidden. There's the 1527, that is Texas. As soon as the series gets to the 1528, it will leave Texas and then be on Ohio. But I want to see this intensity with Venus in the third house of communications. There it is. There's Texas. There's the intensity with the communications, siblings, the values with siblings. And then the 2922, that's Sebastian. That's his values with Venus. His Venus is a 2922 in Capricorn, but we're about to be, and his Vulcan has just opposed it in the fifth house of kids and creativity with schooling, the education. There it is. There's an opposition with Sebastian. And then we're going to learn. We're going to learn, and it's an emotional explosion of home with a 2638. The fate with communications and with Seth on the 21st. The fate with the communications and Seth and the TBI and the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, that's all culminating. It's all coming together here. The moon is reflecting communications with Virginia right here. And God's will is being done right here with Sebastian, the 0024. That's his communications with the sibling and the communications about the schooling. It's a 0017. Go ahead and save that. And do you see how I'm just not seeing anything? Like, I'm not seeing this finale. Doesn't mean that it's not going to come before July 21st. I'm just not seeing it yet. I think that there's possibilities and, things could work out. And then the moon is going to oppose the vehicle of Sebastian right here. That 1909, Chris is not only fated with the FBI, but he's fated with all the agencies. And then there's going to be a lot of energy that is coming to the desires of Sebastian and the long travels, especially with a church group or any type of group. There's a head wound here. Aries is about, fire. Aries is not just about fire, but it's about a vehicle. It's about the body. It's about the head. Medical astrology would say, okay, you've got problems with headaches. Well, you've got things going on in Aries. That's why. So the 1531, I want to see what these transits look like. With this energy with Sebastian, I can already tell that Jupiter is going to come and expand the home and the warring with Terry Bowersox. I mean, it's just going to happen. Because once Ceres gets to that 1531, Jupiter is going to be expanding. There's the 2904 that Sebastian, there's a transformation that the sun is shining on with the house of groups, with home and mom. And there it is, the 1531. Jupiter is now at a 927, and the 928 is where we are going to see the warring, the discord, the strife, the anger with Terry Bowersox. And again, there's this transformation with Trans Pluto at a 353. That's ICE. That's the immigration police. There is going to be a fate with them. The end of July, there's a major fate with them and the transformation of health. And then we can see that Venus is going to come right back around. Venus is going to hit that 1909 that Chris shares with the agencies. And then the moon is going to reflect the communications with the agencies. And he is pissed. Terry Bowersox is pissed right here. With Jupiter, there's a warring at home. It could have to do with a flight. Jupiter and Sagittarius is also about the air. Even though it's a fiery energy, there is a lot of Jupiter can take flight. Jupiter's going to go far, wants to go quick. There it is. Now the 2046, I want to see that with the TBI, because the TBI and Sebastian are going to be fated with things from the past. Mars is going to come back. Mars will come around and be there too. Are they going to conjunct? Let's see. No. They will conjunct, but not at the 2046. Interesting. Let's check this out. This is July 22nd, 4 o'clock in the morning. This is when it begins with Sebastian and the TBI. We're going to come down to the justice of the wisdom. So the investigation is going to oppose this at this time period. It's going to oppose Chris Proudfoot and the transformation with the public eye. There is going to be an investigation with him. The moon, let's look at the moon. Let's look at the moon and how it's reflecting the communications. Oh, shoot. With the two people in Sebastian's life, that things that are hidden with the communications at home that weighs him down with hell. That 2751 we are reflecting. I can see that Kathy would be showing up. She's got the 405. And again, this is at 4 o'clock in the morning, and Chris is going to be opposed here. Right there. There's an opposition with him. All the while, the TBI and Sebastian are in transit together with the fate. The 2046, that is his discord. That is where there's a lot of warring with Sebastian. And actually, the fate will start with the TBI at a 2047 with things of the past, with the warring from the past. So it starts here with the TBI. On Monday evening, it'll start with them. The 931, of course, is Sebastian. So there's going to be an expansion with could be the farming. I don't know. 2016, that's going to be the TBI right there. The sun is shining on Terry Bowersox. but actually it's shining on Kathy Bowersox and her connection to California. So now that there's the fate, let's look at the disordered aggression with the TBI and the 1311. And I want to tell you that this 1311 also goes to, I don't have a drum roll. The 1311 goes to TBI, but it also goes to the, Michael Proudfoot. The 1311 is going to Michael Proudfoot, and it also goes to other neighbors of Sebastian. They connect to the TBI, right? As they should. Neighbors, they definitely should be connecting to the TBI because the TBI should be talking to them, right? So they should have this connection that is a big connection that is imprinted. And what I'm seeing is that there is a lot of okay, here we go. So July 23rd, there's a lot of energy going to the sun. The way that Sebastian shines in Sagittarius, his sun in the first house of Sag is a 1542. There's a lot of energy going here with the public attention. And we are going down here and we're seeing the 7th house of relationships. That 811 goes to John, Lori's husband. And if you don't know who John is, Lori's husband, just do some research. That 811 is also going to the FBI and the TBI, not just John. But he has that 811, and he will be in transit this whole day with the agencies. Interesting, isn't it? I think so. The 1638, that is, well, Juno is moving so slow. The 1638 is definitely California and how they shine. There's wisdom. There's wisdom that's coming over the state of Tennessee. They're shining with their wisdom about children, about education. The weight, though, the weight is on Bowersox, and it's coming on him in a big way. Other people have this as well in Sebastian's family. So we're waking up Wednesday morning. The flame of life has already went over Sebastian. Here's the 1311, and the 1311, like I said, it goes to the TBI, and it goes to Michael Proudfoot and some neighbors. And there's a disordered aggression of home, and there's this investigative process with the TBI and the things that are hidden with their investigations. The FBI is there is a lot happening here. And then Katie is going to be the 1425 right there. Things of the past that took place with her kid. 410, there is that Ohio? I'm thinking, I don't know. I'll have to check and see. I think it is. I think the 410 is Ohio. And we are about to come into the Saturn. We're about to come into the Saturn of Michael. What's his face? Chris. His Saturn is in the force. It's a 410, a 411, or a 412. I usually think it's a 411, like the 411 or the 412. But look, that's 6617. That's the TBI. God's will is being done with the TBI here. May not have anything to do with Sebastian, but it could. We are reflecting on groups and home and Cancer. And then the flame of life with the state of Tennessee is a 1055. Interesting. So the 2117, the values of the TBI and 2 people with the communications right there. And there's a letting go with the FBI here in the 9th house of travel, the higher learning, immigration. Again, this could even have to do with Summer Wells, because there's a lot of action going down with her case. But there's Chris again, so that's interesting. And then there's going to be a shakeup. What's going to happen is there's going to be this shakeup with Melissa. And it's going to begin. It'll probably begin earlier in the day, but she's definitely going to feel this shakeup right here. Wednesday evening on July 23rd. This is We the People. Let's see. Let's see, honey. So you've got the 0048. There's the 2148 that Sebastian has with his natal chart. The 2148 that he has in his chart is in Aquarius, and it's with his Neptune. It's things that we want to dissolve with groups and the sibling to understand where he could be. The 0040 isn't just Melissa, it's also Michael Proudfoot. And then there is going to be this flame of life that is going to come and oppose Katie. Let's see what that looks like at 1104. It starts in the relationship house. This is in the middle of the night. Again, this could just be chatter online. There's the 757 that's going to show itself one more time. The state of Tennessee shares a degree with the United States at a 1319. The United States shines at a 1319. The outer wheel for Tennessee is a 1319. And so when we wake up on July 24th, well, it's not a good day for the U.S. Let's see if she gets there. Yes, she does. And there goes Mars. Mars is going, so Venus went to the 2148. No, was it Venus? Yeah, Venus went to the 2148. Now Mars is coming to it. We're trying to dissolve what's hidden with video, with groups, with networking, with Sebastian and where he went and how we can better communicate with him. There's the 411. Here we're getting into the 1350s. And so, yeah, I can see Chris and his mother here with Sebastian and the vehicle and where he went to, the things that are hidden with the video, most definitely. And the values of the state of Tennessee, the values of, okay, all right, I'm seeing something. Hold up. I'm seeing something. The way that Eric Craddock connects to the United States, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to show y'all. Y'all want to see this. I want to see it. Let's look at it. Let's see what happens with him on July 29th. If anybody could, get this message to Eric Craddock, this is his connection to the United States that we definitely want to observe and pay attention to. This is no doubt about the day. If there's a day to observe, this is going to be the day, man. Eric Craddock, no matter what time he's born, He matches the United States. This is a big ass day. Oh my God, y'all. I'm so excited. Wait till you hear. Wait till you hear. Wait till you hear. So check this out. Let me go back. Let me just go back one day. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to I'm going to start with the hour. July 28th. Monday, July 28th, around noon. This is a day that we really, really want to observe Sebastian's case. And let me just tell you why. Let me tell you the things that I'm seeing on this day. The sun is in Leo. The sun is in Leo. The sun is shining on kids and education. This is the end of, we're getting to the middle of the summer. It's before school starts, right? This is the end. We're coming into the end of summer, the end of July, and then August. That's when school starts back, right? Okay, so the sun is shining in Leo. It's about kids. It's about education. Do you see what I see? This devouring energy with that 1614 that Sebastian has in his natal chart. Vulcan, that was in transit when he went missing. There was a darkness going over it. With God's will. The 1614 is a collective transit. There is a timing here. And the weight of the United States of America, the weight of Eric Craddock is coming into transit momentarily. I can see that the health factor, that 2115, is coming into the 2117 that the TBI has in their outer will. It's going to touch their body with the health factor, with communications. I can see that the Uranus at a 0049 is coming into the state of Tennessee 0050 with the wisdom about children and education. And we see that the 1613 is coming to that 1614 as well, right? There's going to be a lot of energy with Sebastian. And this 143, that's the FBI. The FBI is going to be in transit ×2. There is a wake-up call with investigations at home, with groups and networking and video with the TBI. The divine justice has left the 840 and the 830 with Sebastian. So we're already going to the 850 already. There is a relationship that is going to pain Kathy Bowersox. The enlightenment that Eric Craddock had, well, he's going to get it again. And it's about the investigation. There is a relationship with the United States, the end of July, that is going to show itself, and it's going to be a fated relationship. Again, this 357 is going to Crabtree and Layla Centinello. The 2732, there's an opposition with the money, the values of the United States. There is an opposition with their Pluto. This is a big day for the United States and for Sebastian. Sebastian has a relationship that comes in at a 1219. And there's a reigniting of a flame with this relationship. And Craddock is about to be weighted down the next hour. Let's see. When's it going to happen? 1613, still not there. So now he's weighted down with relationships. Monday afternoon. There's the TBI. And all of that energy is coming. FBI is in transit still ×2. The flame of life has just went over the United States. We are reflecting with Terry Bowersox. We're reflecting with the FBI. And we are coming to the state of Tennessee with a lot of worrying about health. Let's get that series to the 1614 with Sebastian. There it is. That's in the third house of communications. And the dark moon is coming to Chris and Katie and Eric Craddock. The dark moon is coming. All the while, Mars is coming to the state of Tennessee and Summer Wells and Layla Centinela right there. There's the 24-28 with them. Tennessee. And then the wake-up call. The wake-up call with Judge Blanton and the DA is coming with the investigation. It's coming in the future because Aquarius is going to show itself in the future. Venus is going to come around to that 2732 where Selena was just at with the United States, with the communications and the values of the state of Tennessee. State of Tennessee. This is also, hold up, the world. Okay, so the United States is one way that we're looking at this at a federal level. So the federal level is actually with the state of Tennessee, but it's also with Saudi Arabia. That's where the Mars is. There's a lot of things happening with Saudi Arabia and the United States during this time period. And money. That's the relationship with the United States. That's Saudi Arabia. But for Eric Craddock, this is a different story. This is about Sebastian on July 28th. It is definitely about Sebastian. Because Sebastian's going to be holding the collective transit with the weight of hell on Eric Craddock on July 28th. I can't wait to see this. I cannot wait to see this. 1614 is still in transit. Let's see how long Ceres stays with that 1614. Now she's at a 1615 in the middle. We're going into the late hours of the evening. You know what? Who else has the 0050 is Sarah Ebersole, that's missing out of Florida. But she does, the people that harmed her, that did something with her, is actually in the state. They lived in the state of Tennessee. So let's look at this 1808. Okay, so the 1809, that's going to be Nina. The investigation with what Nina is saying. And now we have the opposition with the DA and Judge Blanton, Monday evening, late Monday night. Again, the FBI is in transit. Now the state of Tennessee. We've got some pain that the SF investigates. There is a devouring energy is still with Sebastian. The 1104 has just expanded the burden and the breakup, this major burden with Katie and her home. The weight. And then the communications is going to come around and burden her. But this dude is going to be in transit. Craddock and Sebastian are going to be holding a collective transit all day together on the 27th and the 28th. It'll already be an orb. I mean, we're going to be able to see it. And then 1350, the fate with Chris and Katie and Hairboy, they're going to come together. And look at that. There's Venus. Venus is at a 2751. That's where all of his problems are. And then we've got limits and obstacles with the FBI and how Kathy Bowersox connects to the FBI. There's limits and obstacles here with her and the FBI on July 29th. And it's about the shakeup. And the communications in the past, then Tennessee has a wisdom with. We're reflecting on the justice in Libra. And look at that. Eris is now at a 2543, but she's in retrograde. So she's coming back. She's coming back to the 2542 that Terry Bowersox and the FBI share. Their connection is coming back. So let me go with the hour and see what else is happening. The 2442, let's see, the 2642 with Sebastian, that is going to come with the TBI. Now we've got all of this energy that is going to Mississippi. There's a lot of energy that is going to the state of Mississippi. The Mississippi, there is so much happening here. And again, we're looking at waking up on the 29th, and Hairboy and Sebastian are they're in transit together again. Still. Tuesday morning. Let's see if they make it to the groups. They do. We're waking up Tuesday morning. There they are with the groups. The communications are about the health factor from the past with Sebastian. Mississippi, the 1616 was in transit when he went missing. You know, it was the wisdom. The wisdom was in Mississippi. Well, there's a lot of energy that is going to be coming to Mississippi. The fate is with them and the FBI and Kathy Bowersox. I like the end of July. I can't wait to see how this is going to work itself out, because the pain that SF investigates share with other people, it's coming. He's going to learn something that pains him. Right there. God's will is going to be done with Nina and Chris Proudfoot. And the sun is shining on the outer will of Sebastian and the schooling and the education. All the while, there's a devouring energy that is still taking place with Sebastian and the Vulcan. The God's will is being done with him and the long travels. And the weight is still on Eric Craddock, a.k.a. Hairboy. Now on July 29th, Tuesday morning, all day Tuesday, most of the day. Let's see how long this is going to last. Once the state of Tennessee gets shaken up with wisdom and children, then it's going to be shaken up with Faith, Sebastian's stepsister. Right there. She owns the 0051 no matter what time she's born. Now the devouring energy is off of Sebastian, and the communications and the group is focused on Faith. And there's a divine justice with the groups on Tuesday with Sebastian. Limits and obstacles all day for you, Kathy Bowersox, on this day with the FBI. So I like it. I really do. I like the end of July for Sebastian. And we're just going to have to wait and see how all of this works itself out, what happens between now and then. And who knows? He could be found before then. But I like to see this connection, and I want to see this connection with Eric Craddock, because I haven't seen it yet with him. And the 1448, let me just tell you what it is when I say it's federal and how he matches the United States at a federal level. The United States has a working chart that is very, very good. I mean, it's very easy to see all the ways that, the United States and how their chart has manifested over the many years that I've been looking at it. Okay. But the 1448 for the United States of America is their Saturn. Their Saturn, their public image, the Saturn that slows them down with the justice system, with the courts, is a 1448. That is Eric Craddock. Eric Craddock is the United States Saturn. He is connected to their Saturn. Why? Why would Eric Craddock be connected to their Saturn? You tell me. You tell me, because, makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. He's not connected to their divine justice, their dark moon. He is connected to the federal level Saturn. Limits and obstacles. Guess who else is connected? You have a fear of public failure, approach your career with caution. This is about their public image. Their public image is slowed down by Eric Craddock. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Trump. And the United States. So Trump is over here. United States is over here. Now I want to show you something. Donald Trump here in the second house of values with the justice system. He has a conscious raising experience with a relationship at a 1448. This relationship is the Saturn. You see what I'm saying? So Donald Trump is connected to the Saturn of the United States, and Eric Craddock is connected to the Saturn of the United States and Donald Trump as a relationship that gives him a conscious raising experience about justice, about the courts, about his values with money. And so, we have to take that into consideration, the connections that he would have, because he is over the case of Sebastian Rogers, right? And that matters to me. It matters to me that Eric Craddock, no matter what time he is born, I'm not going to show you his chart for privacy reasons. But I want to show you that the United States has a 0047. This goes to Cuba. This is where there is a relationship here that is critical for the United States. This isn't going to change unless the United States is reborn again. This is the chart. This is the hell, other people's money. This is the weight of how they bring in money through the coca, through Cuba. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Do you understand why that is the relationship of the United States that weighs them down with other people's money, and it's critical for the law enforcement in Cuba? I hope you realize why, how that works itself out. The other thing, too, that I want to say is that Faith and Eric Craddock match the United States here. What is this in the United States chart? This is Selena. She's at a 2704 in Sag. He matches the United States here with Flight. This is where they experiment with missiles, with travel, experimentations with their scientists, blowing up labs and things like that. It's traveling. There's an experimentation with all things in the air. And that's how they learn. And this is a connection that Faith and Eric Craddock have with the United States at a federal level. Nina, no matter what time she's born, she matches the United States here at a 911. At the 9/11 degree, she matches the United States, and there's a breakup here. There is a burden with authority. Burden of authority here. And she matches them with that. For me, that's kind of a big deal because it's like, okay, if her and her daughter are matching them at a federal level, this case is federal. There's a federal connection. You know what I'm saying? There is this federal connection with them two. So that's all I got for today. I've been running my mouth for 4 hours. But I had a lot to talk about, and we've made it to the end of July. We have made it to the end of July, and I think that we've done a great job here because the end of July, hold on, I didn't say the 29th and the 28th. That was the biggest day with Craddock because I really want to see his connection with the United States. And damn it, I want to see it while Sebastian is in transit with him too. This is big for us to see. Really big for us to see. So I'm going to save it and really study this because I want to see who else is matching up and what I can tell with this. And who knows, maybe he will be found tonight, tomorrow. But if not, we got the end of July to look forward to observe, to see how this is all going to work itself out with Sebastian having the Chronos. There's a timing here. There's a devouring energy with Sebastian. And there's a hell, there's a weight of home with Craddock at a federal level. Will anything go down? I don't know because there's Chris. Not Chris, but there's Mississippi. There's a lot of energy going to Mississippi. There is energy here with Saturn, with the FBI, and Kathy Bowersox. No matter what time she's born, she matches the FBI here. Point blank, period. No matter. And there's an opposing force. Remember, before this comes into transit, there's already an opposing force that's coming to the DA and Judge Blanton. So that's that. And the opposing force, when you have something that is coming to oppose you, all it's doing is challenging you. It's challenging you. In the Bible where it says, to repent, repentance only means for you're going one direction. And instead of continuously going that same direction and hitting your head against the brick wall, you're going to like, oh, okay, maybe I should turn around and try something different to get different results. That's what I'm talking about here. That's what an opposition is. That's what a square is. They create challenges in our life for us to do something different. And this weight of home that is coming at the end of July, it's not just coming for Craddock. It's Trump, and it's the United States at a federal level too. It is what it is. And it's going to be in transit with Sebastian the 28th and the 29th. And I'm here for it. I know y'all are too. I know you are too. But I am going to study this. I'm going to study it and see who all, because the FBI, they're going to have some major challenges with their work. And this disordered aggression, this darkness that's coming over Chris and Katie and Craddock is going to come to a head. It's all going to come to a head on July 29th. And I just wonder, here comes the FBI again. That's on August 3rd. August 3rd is the FBI and Terry Bowersox. So I'm going to save that one too. And the Enlightenment comes back to Craddock. And there's a lot of energy with the health factor that is coming. Whoo, it's coming to Sebastian and the United States Chiron degree. There's Georgia. There's Trump. Yeah, I got to stop playing this tape because I'm gonna be to damn December still talking about it and just wondering. But there is a disordered aggression that's coming on this day when it does reach the Mars does reach Sebastian. There's going to be a disordered aggression, a darkness with Katie. She's going to have a darkness, a disordered aggression that's going to oppose her with the FBI. And you know what? I should be seeing Seth too, and I do a little bit, but not like I do the rest of that family. So the next time that I play the tape through, I'm going to start with July 28th and we're going to come back to the August 3rd because I think I'm missing some other things that I would need to see. And there is going to be this weight, this with the values of Sebastian is going to come back around on the 10th. Is that when school's supposed to start? I don't know. And then Saturn is going to come back down to Don Sharfy Jr. again in August. So we're just going to we're replaying these. The energy in June, we're going to be replaying it in July. But for Sebastian, it's going to pick up in the end of July. It just is. And we're here for it. And I'm going to let you guys go. And I will come back on another time. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you so much. I hope that you understood some of what I'm talking about. If not, I'm going to keep this live up some and y'all can go back and rewatch if you wanted to. I mean, it's all long. You just smack talk good. We hope y'all are doing good. Remember, suppose Chris said his son was killed in a car accident? What? Whose son? Whose son was killed in a car accident? Smack Talker, if you're still in here, whose son was killed in a car accident? I don't remember that. I don't remember anybody talking about, oh, yes, the judge. Judge Blanton? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's who you're talking about. Yes. Judge Blanton, supposedly his son did pass in a car accident, but here's the dealio. He and the DA are going to have a wake-up call. There's going to be an opposing force. There is things that are going to be taking place the end of July, and it could be, it could be just, protesting or something. I don't know. It could be a vigil, but there's things that are going to be taking place the end of July that we want to keep an eye on. For sure, for sure. For sure. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of the afternoon, and I will talk to you very soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, y'all. Y'all are troopers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you're learning some things. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.